Doctor Who Season 10, Episodes 15 to 20, titled Planet of the Daleks, and this story is quite interesting because it's the only classic series story that I've seen before I decided to go watch classic series. Yeah. But to be fair, it was 15 years ago, and clearly, 10-year-old me, Planet of the Daleks didn't do much of a impression on me, so I stopped watching classic series. But I checked, it was in the library, grabbed it, borrowed it, watched Planet of the Daleks, and that was it. So, the question is now, does it keep an impression on me now? It didn't back then, but does a more mature-ish, I don't say mature, but more mature-ish, a more mature-ish and wise-ish person that I am, would I enjoy this story now? I would lie. I liked it. I actually quite enjoyed it. And guess what? The 6-part length of the story is really good. This might be the best Terry Hatcher story out there. Note to self, I know that I know I haven't seen Genesis Daleks yet. I know Genesis Daleks is like the Dalek story. But at this point, this is the best Terry Nation Dalek story. In a way, kind of has written nothing about the Dalek story. But it's the best one he has written. Because you got all this, yes, you got the typical, the Doctor and Joe is stuck on a planet and they bumped into the Carwets who were a part of, who were part of the first Dalek story way back in 1963/4, and they need to stop the Daleks for the evil plan, but also getting home, and they bump into more alien races and all that kind of stuff. But it's all the character dynamics in this. There's some really good character dynamics in this that I was shocked was in this, in a show from in the 1970s. That I would say we're getting HBO level stuff, but there's a part where a crew shows up, and clearly there's a connection between there's a couple there, and you can and through the dialogue there's a hint of this person loves this other person, and they don't want them to be there, and you feel the emotion. It's not the typical sci-fi stuff that we have seen, and it feels like the show's maturing in its writing, and I'm like, okay, and the pacing's good. The pacing is really put together. I mean, sure, it gets slow, I was saying, around part 2, part 3-ish, but the pacing of it is really well sharp together. I was like, wait, we're on part 5 right now, and there's no part of me that feels a bit, oh my god, this is slow. Why can't we just move on? There's none of that. I'm just shocked. Because we all know my opinion on the Third Doctor stories, which is they're 6-episode stories that don't need to be 6-episode stories. They could need to be 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. But we have 5, 4, 3, 2. The hell, we made one off episode, a good 20-minute episode or something. But there's also a couple of things I'm curious. This is me going through the classic series. I'm curious, when does Starro become Starro? When they just become where it's Daleks and no one else? Because clearly the Daleks are there. Clearly the Carwets are the original people of Dalek, the original people of Starro. They show up, and then the Daleks show up, and they take them out. But when does that happen? Genesis of the Daleks, I guess. I'm curious. I also am curious about this thing about Daleks unable to go through zero temperature, cold weather. Well, in the Bible, why can't we use that? That's something. Maybe because back then it's like, yeah, sure. But then hearing the words cold weather still it takes out the Daleks sounds stupid. It could be that whole situation. But yeah, I dig this story. I don't know it's nostalgia. I don't know I actually disliked it. But yeah, even like the Cookie Monster, even if the not the Cookie Monster, yeah, the purple Cookie Monster, or like the ones that look like, I mean clearly they're wearing nothing but blanket, like soft blankets, but like and rugs and all that. But those creatures that they're wearing the skin of, all they wanted was probably a Perky's burger, or all we know. But they look like the McDonald's, mascot, right? So they had a purpose. They had a story. They didn't drag the story down out whatsoever. And that it's also quite interesting to see like an army of Daleks in 1973. It's quite interesting because naturally, I'm like, you don't have CGI. Now we can do the whole $6 billion thing, and we can do the massive army. Back then you didn't. So clearly, what happened was there was about they probably did sell Dalek toys, and someone make a model about it, and well control Dalek and all that. So it's probably what happened. They just bought several of the toys back then and make a little diorama, but. It's yeah, I was surprised by that as well. That felt very like modern Who. That felt like something you would see now. But anyway, next time it is the end of season. Where are we at? Season 10. Forgot the season. It's the final story of season 10, The Green Death. See you then.